What up guys, it's K13 and welcome back to my channel. This video that I have for you guys today is 13 college tips and advice from a postgraduate. This is my second time filming this video because the first time I took way too damn long explaining things, and I did that thing that I do when I make YouTube videos and I babbled on and on thinking that I didn't take that long filming, and then I ended up with like 50 minutes of footage. And editing my own videos, hearing myself go on talking is extremely boring. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm refilming this video and I'm going to give you the tips and the advice, and I will do much better at keeping it short and sweet, but hopefully still helpful. That way you guys are getting a good video with good content that is hopefully helpful, because that's the point of the video, to be helpful, but it's not too long that it'll be boring for you guys to watch and probably even way more boring for me to edit. The point of this video is to be giving you all tips and advice that hopefully you don't hear very often, especially if you're searching in YouTube for college tips and advice. Hopefully the stuff that I'm telling you all, you either have not heard before or don't hear often, haven't heard another video, because if I'm repeating the same exact things that everybody tells you, then, you know, bleh. But at the end of the day, some of the things that I will be telling you guys are probably common sense, so I probably will be repeating what other YouTubers have given you advice for, or just people in your life in general. But also the advice that I will be giving you guys will be personal to me. This is stuff that I learned from experience and wish that I knew before going into college. Because there's a lot of stuff out there that people are going to tell you, like, oh, don't procrastinate, homework first, party later, da-da-da, like stuff you've all heard before that you don't need me to tell you. And a lot of that stuff, like, I knew, and hearing that as advice didn't help me. On we go. Tip number 1, find somebody to help you throughout your college experience. Have one designated person. For me, that was my aunt, because she worked at Johnson University, where I just graduated from. She was the one that gave me advice about where to go to school, because I did not want to graduate high school. I was not ready. I was not prepared. I didn't care about being prepared. I didn't care about anything. There was a lot of family stuff going on, a lot of drama, and I just wanted to stay in high school. So when it came to the actual time to find a college, I didn't know. I didn't talk to my dad, and he was the person that should have been helping me with college. My school wasn't very helpful, so I just had my mom. She knew absolutely nothing, and this is not to bash her, this is just how our lives were. My mom knew nothing. And so her sister, my aunt, was the one that was like, well, she can try community college. And so the reason I went to community college was because that's what my aunt suggested. And she was basically that token person that helped me and my mom that we would go to every time we needed help. So if you have issues figuring out college and or getting ready for college before you're out of high school, have a token person. It can be your parents, it can be another relative, like it was for me, somebody at your high school. It'll, like, find somebody. There will be somebody that can help you along the way. Tip number 2, know what you're looking for in a college. So when I was ready to leave community college, I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew that I wanted to go to a small school, something similar to what my high school was. When I tried out Johnson University, it was exactly what I wanted. It was a small school, very community oriented and Christian school, non-denominational. So even though there were a lot of personal times where I didn't feel like Johnson was the right place for me, ultimately I do believe that Johnson was the right choice for me. Even if you decide that you don't like where you're going to school and you decide to transfer later on, that's okay. It just helps. Like, there's so many college options out there. Everywhere is going to try to recruit you because they want your money to educate you. You want to know what you want. That will be helpful. Tip number 3, apply for financial aid as soon as possible. The longer you wait, the less money you're gonna get, the less likely you're gonna be accepted for it. So as soon as you want to keep on top of the news about financial aid. As soon as it's open, which is usually October, November-ish, you want to apply as soon as you can. If you don't know how to do that, ask an experienced college person. Basically, you just Google financialaid.org, I believe. Use the financial aid office at your school. They will help you. Tip number 4, if you need to work because of your financial situation, I encourage you to work. If you can't get an off-campus job, try a work study. And work study is usually minimum wage. It's not the best paying, but it's something. And if you can work a full-time job back at home, that's what I did. I would work at Walmart during the summer and during breaks. And it didn't last me a lot. I still had to use my credit card or have my mom help me, pay for stuff, but you want to work. If you can't, I don't know, if you don't think you can work full-time while also being a full-time or part-time student, then don't, because I didn't work a full-time job while I was at Johnson. The whole time I was at Johnson, I only did work study jobs in Walmart in between. When I was at community college, doing school part-time and living at home, I did work more hours at Walmart. So you gotta, whatever's best for you. As long as you can go to your job and keep up with classes and homework, then you should be fine. Number 5, always ask questions and keep in communication with your advisor. Having an advisor is usually a good idea because they will be the ones that will help you get registered. They're the ones that help you decide what classes you want to take. They will answer any questions you have about if you want to change a major. There were a few times where I didn't ask questions when I should have, and I regretted that. So yeah, you want to talk to your advisor. It was hard with me because my school had a lot of changes with the advisors in my department because of death or people like job changes. So I had 3 separate advisors at Johnson, and then at community college, one of my favorite professors, she enjoyed doing advising, so she was my advisor. She was a really good advisor and she was really invested in helping me out and interested in what I wanted to do with my life, even though I didn't know yet. But yeah, having somebody, especially like an advisor, they will help you out. Number 6, do not be afraid to change your major. Changing majors can be really intimidating. It can sound exhausting. A lot of the times it's the process, or it's just the fact that you might have to retake classes, or not even retake classes, but certain credits that you took for your first major will probably not count to whatever you're changing. So it might extend your time at school, can put a little more stress on you financially. These are the reasons why I didn't change my major. When I wanted to change from journalism to something else, I decided that I didn't want to do that because I just didn't want to stay in school any longer. I added the minor, which added a semester, but if I changed my major, it would have added an entire year. But I still graduated later, an entire year anyway. So it didn't really matter that I kept my major the same because I still graduated later than I anticipated. The takeaway I had from that was that, I should have changed my major to what I wanted because I didn't graduate on time anyway. So why did it matter? It didn't. So if you really don't like the major that you have, switch it. And even if you stay in school longer, get the degree in the major you want and never use your degree, it happens all the time, but just go for it because you don't want that type of regret. And because if you do stick with trying to get jobs in your degree after graduation, then it'll be in something you enjoy. Because I stayed with my journalism major, but I don't actually want a job with journalism. So yeah. Number 7, and I think this advice is not as easy depending where you go to school. It probably is more beneficial if you go to a small school like I did, where everybody's friends with the professors live on campus. That's what it's like at Johnson University. So keeping communication open with professors is usually encouraged, easy to do, because you can talk with them very easily face to face or Zoom, email. Probably if you have their number, you can call them or text them. Like, it's really easy to talk with the professor at a small school like Johnson. So if you do go to a small school like at Johnson, you want to keep communication open with them, because if something is going on in your life and you need help, you need an extension, or something is going on, they will be more graceful with you if you are communicative and you show them you're working, you're doing your best, you care about the class and what you're learning. They will have more grace with you. They will probably give you an extension. I can't speak for other schools. I can't speak for bigger schools where there's usually like hundreds of people in a class. But I will say, like, it is common that if the professor sees you caring about the class, then they will have more grace for you. That's not always the case. That won't always be the case at a small school. It usually depends on the professor. But at the end of the day, communication is important. Number 8, user resources. You want to use the library. You want to go to the academic support center. My school has free counseling that they advocate for all the time. They're always advertising for counseling. So if your school has stuff like that, if you are having mental health issues and you have free counseling, or if you can, if it's not free, but if you are capable of using it, use it. Go to the library if you can't do your homework in your dorm room. If certain accommodations apply to you in your situation, like me having my ADHD, you want to use it. Thinking you're gonna make it without it, you probably won't. College is super stressful, so if your school provides the resources, they're there for a reason. They are helpful. If you don't like to do work in a library, but you can find another place that's quiet or somewhere that works for you, use it. Don't sit in your dorm room and let yourself be tempted to just go take a nap in your bed. Number 9, be smart with your money, because you're in college and you're probably super, super broke. And if you're not being smart with your money, then you're broke and stupid because you weren't smart with your money. Because you don't want to be in debt. It sucks. And you're going to be in debt either way, because college debt is a lot. It's inevitable. But you want to be able to afford food and Christmas presents. Number 10, feeling organized is not necessarily the same as being organized. And feeling productive is not the same as being productive. So what does that mean? What does that look like? So if you're one of those people, and this is something that I started off doing and then kind of made sure I got out of the habit of doing, and my friend, she still does this. And when I say feeling organized, feeling productive, this is what that looks like. It's when you go to the library or wherever you like to work, and you sit down and you get out your iPad and you get it all nice and neat, you turn it on, and then you maybe type a sentence or two out, you title your assignment, or you pull up your Blackboard or Sakai, whatever your school uses, and you're looking at all your assignments and your grades, and you get your planner out with all the pretty colorful pens and highlighters, and you pull up your agenda or your calendar, schedule, whatever, and then you're writing stuff down, you're planning your all assignments, highlighting things, and you're writing it. You make it look really pretty, you make it look really nice. And then next thing you know, that took about 30 minutes for you to do. And then you say, okay, now I'm ready to do my homework. And then you spend the next 30 minutes highlighting a page or two on your iPad, or you're reading your textbook, but really you're spending a lot of time just deeply reading, not really skimming or like getting the answers or whatever you need, or you are skimming, but you're just highlighting pretty colors. Like you're just doing that thing where you spend an hour and then at the end of the day, you actually didn't productively get something done. You feel accomplished because you have your iPad out, you have everything out looking nice and pretty, you have your Starbucks and your tumbler of water, and you feel like you have the energy. You might have an energy bar. I tell you, my friend does this. But I would do the same thing. I would like spend most of my time, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna do like an hour of homework. And I spent most, if not all of that time of my homework just like getting everything organized and looking good. And you feel good about yourself as you're doing it. It's like, okay, yeah, I've got my life together. But you're really lying to yourself because you're a college student, your life is definitely probably not together. And it's easier to just make things look nice and look pretty and feel productive so you can feel like your life's okay, you can feel in control, and you don't have to face the stress of the actual homework because you probably don't know what you're supposed to do, you don't feel like doing it, it's stressful, or you don't know how to do it. But at least you got prepared for your homework. But don't spend all your time with the pretty colors, the highlighters, the pretty office supplies that make you feel professional. Don't worry about messing with the iPad and like your laptop and like swishing around your coffee. Like, bruh, like set a timer, 5 or 10 minutes to get your stuff out. Look at your agenda, your schedule, whatever, 5-10 minutes. Then do 25 to 45 minutes of actual homework. Like do something, get something actually done that you can turn in if you need to turn something in at the end of the night or before class the next day. Like that will be actually more productive. Number 11, this is for all y'all out there that have issues with your roommates. Don't gossip about them. Don't talk to them about other people unless you're like off campus or at home somewhere. But at the very least, don't talk about your roommate when you're on campus where you could potentially run into them, because that happened to my friends. My friend had some issues with her former roommate, and she was in the elevator with my other friend. My other friend made the comment to her about her roommate from hell, and as she was finishing that sentence, the elevator opened up and that said roommate was right there, potentially hearing the conversation. And it was awkward for them. So don't do that. In my experience, I had my very first roommate. Don't hate her, like nothing bad happened. It was just that she didn't talk to me. We didn't feel like we were roommates. We definitely were not friends. Like, and I wasn't expecting to become best friends, but this was me 20. I think I was 20. She was 20. I was 21. She was 20. She was a junior and I was an incoming transfer student, still a freshman. And she had her establishment of friends. I didn't. I had no friends. So I wasn't expecting us to become best friends, but I thought we could at least try to be friends. I assume that she thought I was just weird because I am, which is fine. I don't know. But basically, she never talked to me. It was just always that feeling of like, oh, I did something wrong. She's angry at me. I don't think that was actually the case. I don't know. But I never talked to her because she made me feel anxious and she made me feel too intimidated to say anything to her. So we just were two people living in this exact same living space. And it was pretty awful. Thankfully, it was only one semester. And then I got a new roommate the second semester. Told this roommate, my new roommate, about how old roommate was and how she made me feel kind of just like, bleh, like, okay, she never talked to me. I thought it was safe to tell her that because I had never seen them together on campus. But then later I see on Facebook or Instagram or whatever that they were friends and that they were hanging out. I don't know if they themselves were like good friends because I still never saw them together on campus. I think they were just friends through mutual friends. Either way, they probably talked about me to each other about their experiences of rooming with me. She probably told that former roommate that I said those things about her. And even though I said, like, I never said anything technically mean or wrong, like, all I did was share my experience of how I felt. But, like, it was so awkward when I realized that they hung out. And I was like, oh crap, they are probably talking about me. And, like, I had a better experience with the second roommate. And we weren't friends, but we still got along and we actually had conversations together. But, like, it was so awkward. And so basically, I don't think, unless you want drama, which is kind of toxic in my opinion, but you know what, whatever. If you don't want drama though, don't say anything unless you're like with actual safe people and like off campus or something. I don't know. Just be careful what you say and to who you say it, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Tip number 12, do your best to balance work and fun, because it's really easy to blow off homework, to have fun, but it's also really easy to obsess over your future, to obsess over your grades, and to put off fun stuff, and to put off being with your friends, and to do whatever so you can only get the work done. And then next thing you know, you haven't had any fun time with your friends, and then your friends are gonna miss you. And you know, friends, you like people, it's college, you all don't all graduate together. There were times where I had to, it's like you have to make sacrifices and you have to make the right decision, or you might not always make the right decision, because sometimes it's hard to tell what the right decision is. It's hard to know how important something is going to be in the long run. What's going to be more important, doing a certain fun thing and not this assignment that could cost you your, like, if it's going to cost you failing, then maybe don't go do something. But if you can like risk not getting a good grade on one assignment and it's not going to hurt your grade, then go do something fun and memorable with your friends. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have those memories with your friends. And if y'all don't graduate at the same time, then that's lost time. You want to make sure you're having lots of fun and making college memories, but you're also there to learn. You're also there for a potential future career. So make sure you balance it out. Okay, last and final advice. Do not let school get in the way of your health. I've seen it time and time again. I've seen it so many times where people will deny their mental and physical health for finals, for midterms, for whatever. They might think it's worth it, but I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth you. Like, you don't know what can happen. Life, and like, that's part of life. Life will get in the way sometimes of work, of anything. Life happens. College, it's like, oh, well, you can't let life happen because, you know, in the workforce, they're not gonna care about this. It's like, okay, yeah, but life happens at work too. Life after college, life happens. Like, I don't know. It's just made me sad. And like my friend that has so many physical ailments every single semester, but then has to, and again, the good thing she would do would be to keep communication with the professors, so they would give her grace, they give her extensions, so like good. But like, if you're still ignoring your sickness and you can't put your homework and everything on hold, so you stay sick, is it worth it? If you're not sleeping and not eating, is it worth it? Anyway, that's all I have for you guys. That is 13 tips and advice from a post-college graduate. So hopefully this was a lot shorter. I think it was. So hopefully editing this won't take so effing long and I can actually upload this for you guys on a good time schedule. But anyway, follow me on all my social medias that are down in the descriptions. Leave a comment and a like, and be sure to subscribe to me if you're not. And if you are subscribed, tap that bell for notifications. All right, you guys, I love you all. Bye.